The third order solution is making your consume digest legible to others. Making your consume digest legible to others. That's the third order. And we're going to stay on the second order today because most of what we've been building through questions 1, 2, 3, and 4, the language problem, the frictionless flow, the category distinctions, the lensing effect, all of it is actually runway for this. What does it mean for a consume digest to be legible? And what does it look like when it's not? What does it mean when it's not legible to yourself? When it's not legible to yourself, it looks like a watch later queue that has run amok. It looks like 1,000 playlists with a numbering schema that you don't recognize, each one with fewer than 15 videos, and you just keep making more without any coherent taxonomy in the naming. Or it looks like the opposite. Maybe you have 5 to 20 playlists, but each one has over 700 videos because you just keep adding to a large bucket, which can work internally, but even internally it creates stress, especially for anyone who's consuming on mobile, because scrolling becomes genuinely difficult once a playlist gets above 400 videos. Or it looks like a struggle to locate anything by time period. You try to use watch history, but if you're a high volume consumer, if you're consuming enough content that it's worth elevating your practice, your watch history isn't a reliable enough surface. It doesn't have the resolution. What legibility looks like when you have it is that you can take a look at your consume digest, your actual indexed playlist, sorted dynamically, and say, for this specific month, this is what collective attention was valuing. These are the content creators and concepts that were being surfaced by the algorithm. Transmitted, consumed. You can sort by most popular and see what actual consumers were watching. You can identify patterns you would have just scrolled past before. You start to see the contours of what you're consuming, not a vague impression, contours, the shape of your own attention over time. And more than that, who was I? Who am I as a reflection of the content I consume? There's that line. You are who you spend time with, the 8 people you interact with the most, the 7, depending on which version of the aphorism you've heard. If that's a truism about self-identity in human relationship, then what does it mean about the actual content you consume? If you are what you eat, if you are who you hang out with, what does that actually mean about your relationship to the content flowing through your hypergraph? And what does that mean about your self-perception? If you actually go back through your watch history, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, and ask yourself, who was I over this time? That question becomes answerable when your consumed digest is legible. It becomes unanswerable when it isn't. And that is why self-legibility is the thing that eventually separates a content consumer who is just managing their feed from one who is building something that compounds over time. One ASAP quick pick that transforms into another. One category specific quick pick that matures into a lineage of playlists, each demarcated by a specific number in parentheses carrying a record forward in time. That compounds. That is the mechanism of compounding. The first order solution, organizing videos, serves you in the moment. The second order solution, making your consumed digest legible to yourself, serves your identity as a content consumer across time. And the third order solution, making your consumed digest legible to others, that is where you begin building something that exists beyond yourself. That is the curator's work. We're not going there today, but now you understand why it's in the sequence. And now, looking back at everything we've covered today, the language problem, the frictionless flow, the category distinctions, the lensing effect, all of it was runway for this. It was never just about organizing videos. It was about making your consumption legible, first to yourself, so that one day, if you choose to, it can be legible to others. And all of it, every part of it, begins with the title, the language problem. So Here is where I want to leave you. If anything in this video landed and you're thinking about your own Consume Digest differently right now, if you're looking at your YouTube playlist and seeing something you didn't see before, then the next step is simple. Go look at what we've built. The playlist archive is at Mr. Pollock 890, Mr. Polik 890. That's the channel where the Consume Digest is structured, sorted, and publicly available. Not a recommendation list, structured, curatorial environment where you can actually see what a legible Consume Digest looks like across categories, across time, across domains.